when we're putting the list together of these awards, we always have some students that we'd like to recognize in the director's talk, and we kind of have a few students that we like personally want to recognize for their achievements and their contribution to the brand program and everything they've done. And just to let them know that we're so proud of them and can't wait to see what they do. Some of them may be seniors, some of them aren't, and so they may have some time left with us, or they may be leaving us and going on to greater things. The first person we'd like to recognize is Nevada Yazi. And she was in our wind ensemble and was my point person I could always go to. She made sure everything was there, made sure all the people were there, except for Daniel Bunn, but everybody else would be there on time. And it was awesome. This goes to Ali Enzo. Next award goes to a person that is very organized and helps us with a lot of things in that field. And it's probably frustrating because the directors aren't as organized as this person. And so he keeps us organized, and we can always depend on him to help us with anything logistical, making copies, anything. This goes to Jack Conn. This next one goes to another brilliant musician, all-stater, amazing clarinetist, and just a person you can always depend on. Just a great person, and we're going to miss her. This goes to Brenna Till. So this next award, Director's Award, goes to a young man that probably has the driest sense of humor of any student I've ever met. And I don't know if he's messing with me or if he's serious sometimes, but he's done just an amazing job in principal trumpet and as a leader in our program. This goes to Eli Dickman. We don't know if that's fake or real. What'd you do? Eli, what'd you do? This next award goes to truly sincere, just a joy. Every time this person walks in a room, you smile because they're smiling, and I think they want to convey that to the whole world, and I think that this is a person that will do that because it is in their nature, and her enthusiasm and joy is contagious. This goes to Caitlin Robinson. This next one goes to a student. This is probably the person I have ridiculed the most in their time with us. But some parents, I'm kidding. I don't really ridicule you. So this, but I really do kind of give this kid a hard time, and he gives it right back because he's that sassy. And but also just somebody that we just love to have in our program and is always there to do whatever is need to be done. And this goes to Maxwell Phillips. Brilliant person in our program that has given us just so much of her effort and time. This goes to Jordan Hall. That just works incessantly for this band program and for his peers, and from everything I can see, watching him interact with his peers, he's just a great friend, and I think his friends are going to miss him, but they'll never forget him. This is Cooper Bird. Next award goes to a young man that has just, in sheer will, become an outstanding musician. Throwing down that bari sax part on Moaning was ridiculous. And this goes to Hayden Miller. Brilliant musician, somebody that has done just amazing things and will continue to do amazing things. This is Olivia Dean. This next Director's Award goes to a young lady that has just a sensitive soul and is full of empathy, and she will just continue to brighten the world with that. And this goes to Catherine Banquet. This next one goes to a percussionist that, I give the percussion a hard time, but you guys work so hard. They're always moving equipment. I don't know if they play the equipment as much as they move the equipment, but they're always moving stuff. And after school, if you're hanging around after school, it's a little chaotic, and it will drive you a little mad because they're just in the hall everywhere practicing different music. So nothing it sounds chaotic all the time. But they practice so hard, and this is, it's because of their directors and just their work ethic. This goes to Jamie Gunn. So it's kind of common knowledge that band directors are sort of like armchair meteorologists, because we happen to predict the weather for all these rehearsals that we have. And I know I gave it away, but okay. I've never had a student argue with me about what the weather's going to be and be right. So this goes to Southern Fun. This next one goes to a gentleman that he was in like the 7th grade brass class that year after COVID, and I was teaching the trombones. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think we got along great, but I knew he was gonna be a beast. I just knew he was. And now he's actually gonna be leaving us because he's gonna be going to the boarding school at Interlochen, and that we hate to lose him, but we're so proud of that. And he's also made the National Youth Orchestra and has become just a top-notch, world-class musician, Reese. So this goes to Reese. So this last year, we started with, and we added the Academic Achievement Awards into our ceremony, and we also added this award last year. And I think, and we did that because, you know, our students do amazing musical things. They really do, but even beyond that, they're just amazing citizens, and they're gonna contribute so much. I mean, not every one of them is going to go on to be a professional musician or a music educator, but whatever they do, they're going to do amazing things. And so we came up with this award last year that we call the Stewardship Award. And this is a person that just thinks beyond themselves and really sees the big picture and really tries to make an impact in the world for the better. And this is Chloe Carroll. And then we have this award that we give every year to our departing drum major, our senior drum major. This is a hard one because I had her since 6th grade. And she is the most selfless person and great leader. And we are going to miss her. And just, she's in choir and she's an all-state choir person and just does everything she puts her all into everything she does. And she's going to be really, she's going to be running a country or something. So this is going to Emma Goff. We have two final awards that we want to give, and these are national awards, and every band program is given the opportunity to give one John Philip Sousa Award and one Louis Armstrong Award. So the John Philip Sousa Award goes to an outstanding bands person, and the Louis Armstrong Award goes to an outstanding jazz musician. We're going to start with the jazz musician. This person, again, is one of those people, walks in a room, has a smile on their face. I don't think I've ever seen this person be negative. I'm sure he has, but I've never seen it, and he always brings positivity in everything he does. He's a great leader and just plays changes in jazz like nobody's business. He kind of looks a little bit like Eminem right now, but we're gonna go give this to Aiden Brewer. Next one. individual since before he was even able to be in band when he was a little kid. His mom and dad forever. His mom was a band director with me here, and his dad's a successful band director. And so, of course, he becomes a successful and amazing musician. And I wasn't sure how he was going to turn out when he was young. I'm serious, guys. But he turned out to be a gentleman, and he's going to be a musical scholar. He is just brilliant, and I can't wait to see what you do, Cole. This goes to Cole Self. So in life, there's always changes, and there's always goodbyes, and you young people are going to have those happen a lot. And I think it's very important that we properly recognize the next two individuals. I'm going to try to do my best. So Mr. Shirley came to us right out of college. When we have somebody apply for a job at Bixby, you know Bixby in our little bubble. We all live here. We have the terrible traffic, and you know we know Bixby. Outside of here, people know Bixby as well, and it has a reputation. And when somebody applies, we'll have 40 or 50 applicants from multiple states apply for a job at Bixby, and we interviewed people that have their master's degrees in conducting and 20 years of experience and all this stuff. And then we interviewed a young lady right out of college, and she got up on the podium in front of middle schoolers and owned the room, and they loved her. And we were like, that's our person. And she's moving on to other things, and she's going to do wonderful things. She's going to help me. Laura to Shirley.
But I just wanted to say how much you guys mean to me and how much I love all of you students and parents and how wonderful this program has been. It's changed my life totally, and students, all of my students, whether it's private lessons or in class, I know that the seniors this year, some of you guys were my first class of 6th graders, and you guys have totally changed me, and I know I'm moving on, but I still have such a huge place in my heart for all of you. And thank you so much for being such a meaningful part of my life. I'm going to miss you so much.
This next person. I'm going to roast you. Is that cool? All right, because I got all the stories. There's no roast in Mr. Shirley. She's just amazing. So, but Mr. Hudson, I can roast him. So, I've known Mr. Hudson since he was 13 years old in my 8th grade band at Coweta, and he did not like me, and I did not like him. And but he was a leader. And those kids looked up to him, and I was a new band director trying to get this band to follow me. And I knew I had to get this punk with long hair and an earring to follow me, and the only way to do that in my way is I had to shame him in front of his peers somehow. So I found the opportunity, and I played this piece of music, and it was way too hard. Maybe not too hard. So it was a difficult piece of music. I played a recording up to the 8th grade band, and I said, what do you guys think about that? They seem really enthused. I said, Aaron, what do you think? And he goes, I think that might be a little too hard for us. Kind of showing me up, and I go, oh, did you hear that, band? Aaron doesn't think we can do this. And the band, I said, I believe in you. And that was when the band, like, oh yeah, Mr. Parker believes in this, let's do that. And I remember he told me this later on. He said he went home, he was like, that's it, I'm quitting band. His mom's like, no, you're not, you love band. And he didn't, he stayed with it. And we went to a contest at Branson or something like that. And that little 8th grade band at Coweta beat all the other 8th grade bands from some very commendable schools. And I walk on the bus with this trophy this high. Not that we're about awards. But I walk on the bus with this trophy this high, and they were all very quiet. Like, what's that? I said, oh, that's actually Mr. Hudson asked me, what's that? I said, oh, you guys were the highest scoring band of the entire day. Okay. Is that good? I said, yeah, it's really good. Are you proud of us? And I said, I'm extremely proud. And then we went to Silver City, and they wouldn't leave me alone, and we were riding rides, and it was amazing. And then I got to watch him grow, and him and his class came into high school, and they completely changed that band program because of that leadership. And then when he graduated high school, that was when I came to Bixby, and I said, hey, why don't you come over here and tech for me? And he tech for me while he was in college as a music major at TU. And then when it was time to intern, I said, hey, why don't you come intern for us? And he came and interned. And then we got a job open. I said, hey, why don't you work here? And he came and worked here. And while he was here, and when he was in college, he was writing our marching band show. I remember calling him because I needed an arranger for the marching band show. This is like 2014. He's a sophomore in college. I go, you can arrange the show. He goes, Mr. Parker, I haven't had upper division theory yet. And I said, it's fine. You'll be fine. Just use your ear. You'll be great. And he was, because I knew he would, and he knew he would. And he became our arranger, and did amazing things. And we've benefited from him, and this is to Shirley for all these years. I really want to tell like a funny story that's going to make you laugh. I don't know. Maybe I will. Okay, so now when I was younger, Mr. Hudson, when I was his band director, I was probably about his age. And I had a bigger tolerance for shenanigans than I do nowadays. And Mr. Hudson and his little buddies, they like shenanigans. And they were always playing little practical jokes, nothing too nefarious, but just enough, right there on the edge. I didn't lose my cool, and they knew I thought it was funny. And one time, we got back from a contest, as you do, and you unload everything, and I'm waiting for everybody to leave, and all the other directors leave, and I'm walking up, turn out the lights. It's probably about 1 in the morning, and I go and I had a Honda Element at that time, which I loved. Anyway, I get in my Honda Element, and I start it up, and I'm pulling out. I'm about ready to get on the road, on the road, and all of a sudden I hear this person in the back go, where are we going? Guys, I came out of my skin. I'm sure I said some things a high schooler shouldn't hear. And I slammed on the brakes. He went flying into the floorboard in the back. I'm like, get out of my car. And then I just laughed for like 2 miles. I was like, oh my God. And I just knew like, yeah, this guy, he's going to be a great director. I think I knew that before him, and he became a great director. Mr. Aaron Hudson.
Must be some air freshener or something in here. Just got my allergies going. A lot of the students know I'm a big fan of a show called The Office, and a lot of things I've gotten paid to say over the years have been just quotes from The Office. And as I've kind of just been reflecting on my time here with Bixby, there's one thing that has kind of just stayed in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, that's stupid, don't say it. That's my wife said, that's stupid, don't say it. I'm gonna say it. There's a quote, and it's at the end of the series, and one of the characters is moving on to go to his next steps, and he says, I wish there was a way of knowing that you're in the good old days before you leave them. And I want to thank you guys for being my good old days. Seniors, I know you're feeling the same way. You're about to go on to your next chapter. I know your parents are. Most of you, some of them are just so ready. And every year, we hear the same question as people move on, the seniors leave, we hear the same question. We hear, and the band directors, sometimes we get caught too, and we say the same thing. What are we going to do without those guys? But the answer is always the same. You're going to do amazing things. And just like the seniors come back to a contest or a football game to cheer you on, I'll be around and I'll be cheering you on every step of the way. And I'll be sad that I'm not a part of it, absolutely. But I'll also be so incredibly happy for you because I know that you are in your good old days. Thank you all for such an amazing time. So many phenomenal experiences and opportunities. I will always cherish them. Thank you.
Can you do something for me? Will you please give these two amazing leaders a standing ovation? And Mrs. Shirley, I was going to tell that story of when we were using the microphone on the field and we were introducing students. It was like before, at the end of the band camp. I'm not going to tell it, it's a funny one. So, when we introduced people, we were doing it dip on the field with the cordless mic. And when you're on the field with the cordless mic, there's a delay. So what you're seeing and what you're saying and what you hear is like a half second apart. And so so Mrs. Shirley, it's her turn, and she couldn't do it, and it like everything's like, so she just talk like, and it started coming out like that, and there was we had to say TCC, like
I
close
said
to.
C like 6 times in a row.
Yeah, TCC, she can't say that. Anyway, and so for the next whatever years, anytime that anybody said TCC, we would like look at her like. Thank you guys again for everything, setting this foundation for us. We appreciate you so much. I also want to recognize our amazing interns that have been with us. And I was telling somebody about this earlier, because interning in education in the world is working for free. Like, it's not when you're an engineer and you intern, you get paid a salary. No, it's not like that. It's you intern, and it's part of your degree, it's the last thing that you do, and you basically work for free. You usually have to live in your mom and dad's house, and it's really this humbling experience and the precipice of your adulthood. And so please give our interns, Jack and Hayden, a hand for all their service. Seniors, can you stand up? invocation of the next step for you. But every year for us, this is very, very hard. Every single year. And I told Mrs. Parker this, I'm like, well, get ready for me to be kind of depressed for about 3 days. Because you people, we have the unique opportunity of watching you grow up from 12 years old to adulthood. And then when you come back and you come see us and we get to hear about all the amazing things that you're doing, nothing makes us prouder, and that's why we do this every single day. You are why we get up and we come to work and we work stupid hours and we go on contests for 18 and 20-hour days and all that, and we do it over and over and over again. It is what we love because we love watching you become the people you become. So what I'm going to say to you is you need to go out in this world and you need to do good things in this world. You need to have empathy. You need to exercise your intellect. We need that. You are smart, brilliant people, and please be leaders that lead with that in mind. Yes? Yes. Okay. So you may sit down now. Now the juniors in the room, don't stand up. It's your time. You need to step into those shoes, and you need to lead our band. Because the brilliance of this band program is not us. We facilitate your brilliance. So it's your time to step into that. Your time to find every ounce of your leadership, your artistry, and bring that to these people underneath you that learn from you, that look up to you, that are quoting you in their leadership speeches, in their leadership interviews. They're going to be talking about you. We still have people talking about people that are gone for years. They're going to be talking about you someday, and you need to make sure that the imprint that you make on these people is important and significant. Yes? Yeah. All right. Speaking of leaders, I think it's about that time to talk about drum majors.